In this video, we will review the relationships between the arcs, angles, and segments of a circle. Here are a few of the formulas that you need to know. If you have an angle at the center, the angle and the arc will be the same. If you have an inscribed angle, an angle that's at the edge, then the angle is half of the arc, or you could say the arc is double the angle. If you have a random angle floating inside of the circle, then you have two arcs, and the angle will equal the average of those arcs. So the angle is arc plus arc divided by 2. If you have an angle outside of the circle, the formula is angle equals the big arc minus the small arc divided by 2. Okay, and then we have these relationships as well. Okay, part times part equals part times part, or part times whole equals part times whole. That's segments. All right, now let's see which one is going to come up now. So first of all, in this picture, we're only given one number, 50 degrees. Now this is an inscribed angle, right? It's right on the circle. So the arc that goes with that should be double this. So this will be 100 degrees. All right, now, but then on the other hand, the angle on the inside, this angle is at the center. And in that case, the angle and the arc should be the same. So this angle is also 100 degrees. So the answer number 31 is B. Okay, look at number 32. We are told that segment RS is tangent to circle P. So this is a tangent. So we've learned that a tangent will always be perpendicular to the radius at the point of tangency. So in other words, this is a 90-degree angle. That makes this a right triangle. So we should be able to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the length of RS. I'll just call it x. Now, to help us do that, it's important to notice that the radius is 10, and here's another radius over here. So, of course, that will also be 10 because radii are congruent. It's also worth noting that this hypotenuse of the triangle is 22. All right, I have to add those up. So these are the three values. So the Pythagorean theorem, you know, the one where you say a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, will give us this. So that's going to give us x squared is equal to 22 squared minus 10 squared, and then we'll have to take the square root of that. Okay, so that's going to be the square root of 22 squared minus 10 squared. $19.596. So the answer is C. Now for number 33, I've memorized that when you have like a bow tie situation, like inscribed in a circle, then angles that are like this, which are on the same side, they're always going to be congruent. So I know that this is going to be 64. Now, the reason why that is because we've got this rule right, scroll down. Here, when you have an angle that's at the edge of the circle, an inscribed angle, the angle is half the arc. The arc is double the angle. So that's what we are dealing with right now. Okay, so since this angle is 64, that means this arc should be double that. All right, so that is going to be 128. But then, on the other hand, now look at angle x. Okay, I can use that same rule again because angle x is also on the circle. It's also an inscribed angle. And so this should be half of 128. So of course that's going to be 64 because I got it by doubling 64. So if I take half, I'm going to get 64 back again. All right, now look at problem number 34. Okay, these are all segments. So let's see if this will switch to the formula sheet for me this time. Okay, so we're dealing with one of these. Let's see, which one was it? Okay, we have segments and it's going outside of the circle. So the rule is it's going to be the outside times the whole thing is equal to the outside times the whole thing. All right, so like A times A plus B is equal to X times X plus Y. So that's the rule that we're going to use. Okay, so we're doing outside times whole is equal to outside times whole. Okay, now for this bold segment, the tangent, it is both the outside part and it's the whole thing because there's nothing else to it. So the outer part is X. The whole thing is also X. Just use it both times. Now look at the other segment. The outside part is 9. And the whole thing is the sum, so that's 25. Okay, so that's X squared is equal to whatever 9 times 25 is. Okay, and then of course you have to take the square root, and that is 15. So the answer is B. All right, another thing that we learned was that when you have two tangents that are intersecting each other, then the length of these tangent segments will be the same. So that means that the 7x must equal the 3x plus 40. So if I subtract 3x from both sides, I'm going to get 4x is equal to 40. And then when I divide both sides by 4, I get x is equal to 10. So the answer is A. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Go ahead and click here in the red apple to watch the next video. Click in the green apple to subscribe, or click the yellow apple for the full playlist.